Hi, my name is Tommy Ellison, and I am a magician. And I have a question for you. Do you think a person could perhaps peer into the mind of another person and know their thoughts? And perhaps a better question would be, can a person peer into the minds of multiple people, like an audience, and know their thoughts collectively? That would not be normal. But then again, as a magician, I deal with the paranormal. Let's try a little experiment today to see how you might come out in such a encounter with my mind and yours. In this experiment, I need you to completely void your mind of all previous thoughts. I want you to work with me with a completely blank mind. This will not be hard for some of you watching this video. Here we go. I want you to use your imagination and think of the fact that a number of birds are in your backyard. They're walking around on the ground looking for something to eat. And I want you to count those birds. There are somewhere between 1 and 10, so please identify a number relative to the birds. It could be 1, 2, 5, 9, could be a 10, could be a 1. But how many birds in your mind are you envisioning? Keep it to yourself, but lock that number into your mind. A number between 1 and 10. You ready? Okay. Now, as the old saying goes, birds of a feather flock together, and suddenly another small set of birds flies into the yard. So take that original number and multiply it times 2. Now you have a new number. Now, there are more birds that are continuing to fly into the yard. So take that new number and add 8 to it. 8 more birds have flown into the yard. Now, in your imagination, I want you to realize that something scared those birds and half of them flew away. So divide your new number by 2, recognizing that half of the birds have flown away. Have you got a new number? Okay. Now, this time, I want you to take the original number of birds that you determined that were in the yard, that first little flock. And I want you to subtract that from the new number you just had in mind. Got it? Take your time, do the math, and now we have a brand new number. So in this case, I want you to match that number to an alphabet letter. In other words, if you're thinking of the number 1, that would be an A. If you're thinking of 2, that would be a B. 3 would be a C, so forth and so on. You got a letter? Okay. Important for you to remember that letter now, because I want you to think of a European country that begins with that same letter. Whatever that letter might be, think of a European country that begins with that letter. Now I want you to take the second letter of that country and think of an animal. Any animal that begins with the same second letter of the country you were thinking of. Got an animal in mind? Okay. Now I want you to think of the color of that animal. Are we ready? Your thoughts are locked in. You know, it's funny because there are no gray elephants in Denmark. How did I do? Would you do me a favor? If I captured your thoughts, would you leave a comment? It'll be interesting to see how many folks were successful linking their minds with mine. And in fact, if you didn't find this to be successful, put that in the comments as well. Just say, hey, Tommy, you missed it. So it'll be interesting to see the outcome of how many I got and how many I missed. And in the meantime, I will see you on the other side of normal. I'm Tommy Ellison, magician and paranormalist.